YouTube, what's going on? If you're new here, my name's Roger. I own a company called QVO Tactical where we make holsters and gear and also film content for this channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about probably one of the coolest events that I've been fortunate enough to attend. I'm talking about the Battle of the Bills training event put on by SureFire. Now you might remember a couple of months ago I was out in North Carolina. Earlier this year I was invited by SureFire to attend the Battle of the Bills event at Oak Grove Technologies. There are so many great things about this event, but let's first start with the facility. Oak Grove Technologies is an amazing facility. Everything you would need to facilitate top of the line training. This place has multiple ranges, a shoot house for simunitions, a gym with a mat room, and is all within walking distance of one another. There are also living quarters on property that bunk 16 people comfortably with dining, lounging, and bar areas. Now SureFire pulls out all the stops for this one. They cover everything. We're talking transportation, food, gear, swag, lots of ammo to shoot, and they even assign a media team to capture all the content for this video. I was definitely very fortunate enough to be invited to this event and we're very grateful. Thank you to SureFire. Now, if you're wondering why it's called Battle of the Bills, it's because the training is led by two well-known instructors in the training world, Bill Blowers of Tactical and Bill Rapier of AMTAC Shooting. More on them shortly. We, the students, were separated into two groups. My group consisted of my buddy Chris Chan. He's a police officer here in the US and also works with Guns and Tactics magazine. James Reeves, gun shorts himself, of the Firearm blog, and Andrew Wright of SureFire, who coordinated this entire event. The students all consisted of writers, photographers, or content creators within the firearms and training industry. The first night there, we had the chance to check out the new XSC light from SureFire. Now, I'm normally not a fan of subcompact guns and tiny weapon lights, but I ended up being one of the last guys to pick up a gun from the table, so I kind of got stuck with the P365 XL and the new XSC.
All right. Are you ready? Yep. Stand by. .359. All right, next shooter.
So we had a little competition on the first night using some steel targets, and I actually ended up with the best times on all three drills. So this definitely got me looking at the P365 XL from Sig Sauer, and you'll definitely be seeing something later on that in a future video. The next morning, our group started on range 1 with Bill Blowers. Bill has spent over 25 years as a police officer, with the majority of his time assigned to the SWAT team in his department. When it comes to SWAT, the man has done it all. He's filled the roles of sniper, ballistic shield operator, entryman, breacher, and team leader. Bill started us out on working the BCM rifles that were supplied by SureFire, each equipped with their new Pro Scout Light and the SOCOM mini suppressor. Definitely not a bad setup to be running for a range day. Now, Bill had us working everything from standards drills to working the balance of speed and accuracy, all the way to doing dynamic vehicle takedowns, which he did a lot on his team. And honestly, guys, it is a lot more complex than you think. It was a great refresher course on rifle manipulations, and I really enjoyed the standards that Bill sets for himself when running these drills. As you start shooting each standard clean, the passing target area gets smaller and the times get shorter. So it's not only good training, but definitely is fun as well. Okay, so for day 2, our group was with Bill Rapier. You're probably familiar with Bill Rapier if you watched our last video on the Northman fixed blade from AMTAC Blades. If you haven't checked out that video, I definitely think it's worth a watch. If you're not familiar with Bill Rapier, let me share a couple of things about the man. Bill spent 20 years in the Navy, with the bulk of those years being spent at SEAL Team 3 and in the Naval Special Warfighter Development Group, aka DevGru. Yeah, he's the real deal, guys. Bill and I actually had a mutual friend in common, and I sent a picture of Bill to him. My buddy's response was, "That's a very dangerous man." Bill had us start out on the range in the morning working handgun drills and manipulations from concealment. You see, Bill's main focus for the training was in combatives and shooting from attention or within close proximity of your target. This all tied into what he had in store for us next.
So what I recommend is that you come up here, and then once the gun's...
Now, you might be looking at that holster and thinking, man, that looks very familiar. Another really cool part of this event was that QVO Tactical as a company got to be a supporting sponsor for the event. This was an amazing opportunity for us to get our gear in the hands of other content creators and have them put our gear through the paces while during this event. We also got to be on the super cool event poster. As a small business owner, guys, I'm stoked to see our logo among the others involved in a SureFire training event. Super grateful for this opportunity. After spending the morning on the range, we moved into the mat room where we partnered up to train in combatives. This encompassed all things regarding to fighting face-to-face with someone utilizing empty hand techniques, handheld light techniques, firearms, and something really new to me, fighting with a fixed blade. Bill's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and his movement is so fluid and smooth that he makes it look extremely easy. After we finished in the mat room, Bill had us take our newly learned combatives and move them into scenarios within a vehicle. It was interesting to think about what's both offered to you and what restricts you in regards to having to fight within your car.
There we go. Good.
Why, thank you, good sir.
Now, our last day of training was spent with both Bills in the shoot house, learning room entry and clearing. This is something that I am very comfortable with, as I spent a good part of my career training these exact methods as a police officer here in Las Vegas. For those of you familiar with the LVMPD, I was part of the first AMTAC active shooter response team here on the Las Vegas Strip. Being part of this team meant a lot of time spent training in room clearing. It was a great refresher course on room clearing, and it was fun to work with guys that I've never worked with before. I will say this though, room clearing is definitely something that you want to do with a team, and you want that team to all be on the same page in regards to commands, movement, and priorities. I found that the scenarios we did poorly on came from our priorities getting confused within our team while making entry. This led to gaps in our tactics, and this led to some of us getting shot in the back, and by some of us, I mean me. Like I said earlier, it just sucks to get shot by sim rounds, especially the rifle ones. So some might wonder, how is this training different from others out there? Other than the obvious, like an amazing facility, world-class instructors, and top-of-the-line gear, it was the one-on-one personal interactions with not only the other guys in the training, but the instructors themselves. You see, the way the training is set up, you not only train with everyone and the instructors during the day, but you also eat meals together, interact in more of a social aspect with one another during your downtime. For example, with Bill Rapier, being a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, he put 1-hour classes for those interested in the morning before breakfast. So you bet I got my butt up at 6 a.m. to roll. I mean, who wouldn't want the opportunity to learn from a black belt in a small class setting? It was definitely an opportunity I didn't want to pass up. So if you've ever been on a men's retreat, I'd relate it to that, but with a little more emphasis on becoming more of a dangerous person. One thing I really liked that Bill Rapier told us was that you will leave this training more dangerous than when you arrived, and he was 110% correct about that. Well guys, that's going to wrap up our short little video on the SureFire Battle of the Bills training event. I hope you liked the video, and if any of you gun tubers out there, you get the chance to attend this event, I highly recommend you do so. A big shout out to Andrew, Mike, and all of the other guys at SureFire for making this event such a success. I truly had a blast, and I was honored to be there. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up down below. That definitely helps us out. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing because we post new videos every week. If you want to support our content, please check out that Patreon link down below. Our Patreon members get first access to new content, new gear, special discounts, and giveaways. They are a huge reason why we continue to create this content for everybody. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.
Are we going on? Go!
We're doing on me raising the gun, yeah?
Okay, we'll go on you raising the gun. On you. There you go. Good.
James, has this been your favorite part of the class right here?
Oh, it's been pretty good. I don't know what you guys, what do you mean? What?
There we go. Good. Prevention is the biggest thing.